Hello, hello. It's Angela here. And guess what? Today is National Picture Book Day. So I wanted to hop on before the day ended to give a shout out to some of my favorite picture book authors. One of them, I'm holding her book right here, Tamika Fryer Brown. Also Derek Barnes. I want to give a shout out to Kelly Starling Lyons. I want to give a shout out to Derek. I already mentioned Derek Barnes, Vanessa Brantley Newton, and illustrator and artist extraordinaire, Mr. Gordon C. James. I got to give a shout out to all of these folks. They're killing the game in children's books. They are African American. And I know that when I was coming up, there really wasn't much to speak of when it came to books about African Americans or black kids or books by black authors that were picture books. And I know that for my life, as I was coming up, picture books were so important. So I want to talk about two of my favorite ones. And I'm going to start with this one. Hopefully you can see it. It's Andrew Henry's Meadow. This book has so much meaning for me. And I'm Angela. I am a book reviewer for Pride Magazine. I run my own writing workshops right now. We're working on the Mama Stories writing project that is made possible with an Arts and Science Council grant from Mecklenburg County. And so Andrew Henry's Meadow was a phenomenal book. It was a story of, and hopefully you can see this, a little boy who got tired of being, feeling like he was taken for granted at his home. And so what he did was he had sisters and brothers and parents, and they, they were living their, probably to his perspective, their boring lives. And he was a carpenter. You can tell by looking at this picture here. He liked to build things. Okay? So when his sisters and his brothers got tired of him building things like this little helicopter that he built in his sister's room, he packed up his stuff and left. So you can see these pictures here. And I remember seeing this as a kid and just thinking this was so phenomenal that this little boy was making things. And so finally he just packed up his stuff and left. This is him packing up his stuff and leaving. So he packed up and left, found a good spot, and he built his own little house. And then eventually another little girl comes out, and she felt like she wasn't understood at home, and she left. Okay? And I can remember the dragonflies. I like dragonflies to this day because of the Andrew Henry's Meadow book. And so this little girl liked birds, so she built a birdhouse style house for herself. So in essence, all of the little kids, a little kid built his own moat house with a moat and a bridge. And soon all the kids had their own homes, and eventually they had their own little village of their own creativity. And I didn't know it then, but this was a book about children expressing their creativity, not being appreciated, and making sure they were going to continue. So they left. And I just thought that was so awesome as a child. I loved this book. Meanwhile, the parents and everybody, they were looking for the kids. And eventually they found them. And they were so happy that they brought the kids back home. And of course in the end, the kids, this is the parents being so excited. And in the end, the kids came back home and suddenly everyone was happy and excited, and they made space for the children's creativity. We have to make space for our creativity. They gave him his own room. He had a basement, and he could build everything that he wanted to build there. And so once he had his own place, it's like everybody appreciated him for that. And this book was written and illustrated by Doris Byrne. And I think she did a great job illustrating. And this book was actually written, copyrighted in 1965, which is a very significant date. So this book I still have, and I looked it up online. It's actually worth quite a bit. Let's see, I don't know if I wrote in it, but again, that's just how impactful my children's books, the picture books were for me as a kid. And this was a weekly reader children's book club book. How many of you used to do the weekly readers? I used to love the weekly readers. We had our own little paper, little like thin little news magazine type bulletin, like a grocery store bulletin, and we could select the books. And I wonder, I guess this might have been one that I selected and asked for. I don't know. But again, it's National Picture Book Day, and this is a picture book from my childhood called Andrew Henry's Meadow, about a little boy who was very creative, so creative that he had to leave his home and create his own village full of other creative kids. Okay? So this was from my childhood, like I said, when there weren't very many books by black people or about black people. Okay? But I managed to find a way of putting myself in the shoes of this little kid and really appreciating the message that he was saying through the author Doris Byrne. And then I selected another book that is actually by and about a black woman and black persons, which I know some people are like, why should it matter what the race is? Well, it's nice when you see yourself. It really is. If you're not a person who's used to seeing yourself, or if you are a person who's used to seeing yourself all the time, represented in every aspect of life, you may never really grasp what it means or what it might feel like to those who don't always see themselves. It's just a different feeling. So I met Tamika Fryer Brown actually at a Society of Children's Book Writers and Illustrators conference many years ago. And when I saw this book, it just captured me. Around Our Way on Neighbor's Day. And that's when I remember being a kid, the front of the book would always, whatever the front of the book captured me, it would bring me in. And that still happens to this day. Or at least it happened when I selected this book. That's what I mean to say. So, this book just had a really nice rhythm to it, and I bought one for my nephew, and it was one of his favorite books. And here is a snippet from it. Blue sky, no clouds, summer heat, side street, whirling, whizzing feet. Everyone is out to play today around our way. And this book is actually based on memories that Tamika had of what it was like in her neighborhood as a child. and all the multicultural fun. And see, my copy is autographed by Tamika herself. And so it's basically about kids doing all kinds of fun things on the street during Neighbor's Day. Look, here comes the ice cream man holding money in our hands. We chase him down for frozen treats. Quick, lick before it runs. And this is a picture of the little girl in front of the barber shop. People are getting their hair cut back there. Men are having conversations. And so it goes on as she walks down the street to get ready for the celebration. And one of the things that I really liked about this is there were so many multicultural components of it. So one of them was, excuse me, Mr. O and Mr. Wong playing chess the whole day long. Big kids at the center hooping, flying through the sky. And what's awesome about this is it's not a rhymed poem, but it has very much poetic components to it. It's very poetic. Blue sky, no clouds, home to see Daddy helping Mr. Lee. This is known as Neighbor's Day, today around our way. Look at those lush illustrations. So, again, it goes on, and there's a pot of food being stirred that's going to be eaten later on in the day. And everybody's gathering together. It doesn't matter who they are or what their culture is. They're coming together for this celebration. So here's an idea of some of the foods. Blue sky, no clouds. What to do? Who knew that we'd burn the food? Cheese and noodles save the day today around our way. People come out to the street with the food we love to eat. Tante Elisa's gumbo, Mr. Junior's oxtail stew. Again, it's a celebration of cultures, a celebration of food. And it continues. Everybody's got food, and they're bringing food, and it's just fun. Music, bands, everybody's gathering. Because it's around our way on Neighbor's Day. So, I wanted to share with you two of my favorite picture books as we celebrate around our way on Neighbor's Day. And the artist for this book is Charlotte Riley Webb. So it was illustrated by Charlotte Riley Webb. So you'll note that between these two picture books that I shared with you, the first one was illustrated by the author. This one was not. So you're asking maybe, why did I want to share picture books with you? I'm grown. Picture books are so important to a child's development. They're important to capture their attention. They are important to help them in learning about story and storytelling, and they also give you an opportunity to connect with your child if you are reading the book to them or teaching them how to read. And what's cool is quite a few books still speak to us as adults. I can't leave without mentioning Crown, which was another book that got my attention from the very beginning because of the picture. Something about this little boy with a smile on his face and the crowns above his head. This was Derek Barnes and Gordon C. James's Crown, and it went on to win the Newbery Honor, the Caldecott Honor, and also the Coretta Scott King Award and the Ezra Jax Keats Award. If you don't have Crown, this is one that you should have for life. And I have both of the author and the illustrators autographs. I'm so special. So that's what I'll leave you with today. Happy National Picture Book Day. Pick up a picture book for a favorite child. Donate one to a shelter. Read one for yourself. You'll be amazed at what you might discover. Again, this is Angela Hagler, Creativity Cultivator, creator of the Mama Stories writing program, writing project rather, the Mama Stories writing project. I'm also a writer. I'm an editor. I help other people with their books. And that's what I want to leave you with. If you want to have any comments or want to share a picture book that meant something to you as a child or one that you have recently given as a gift, please do so in the comments. And again, thank you and have a great afternoon.